Two candidates had to field tough questions from members of the Judicial Services Commission on the first day of the Deputy Chief Justice interviews. First up was Gauteng Judge President Dunstan Mlambo. Mlambo is currently the most senior Judge President in the country in terms of years in the service. He served as Judge President in two of the country's busiest courts, the Labour Court and Gauteng High Court. Some of his achievements was that he was at the forefront of rolling out the court online system in the Gauteng High Court in 2020. Asked about his leadership style and what he would change about the judiciary, Mlambo, who describes himself as an activist judge, says one of his top priorities would be to transform the judiciary. But he further lamented the attacks on the judiciary as well as what he calls the weaponization of complaints against judges, which is a threat to the judiciary.
That is where powerful people criticize the courts with unsubstantiated cases. Powerful people who criticize the courts, who impute corruption and other negative imputations on the judiciary, are a threat to our rule of law. South African society is a gullible society. I'm not on social media, but I'm told about what gets said there about the judiciary. I think the Deputy Chief Justice should take up the mantle of supporting yourself, CJ, in engaging the legal professions as well as civil society formations in discussing and making them aware that this type of wanton, unfounded criticism of the judiciary is a problem.
Whilst cold water was poured over objections against Mlambo's candidacy, the sticky point of his age came up. If the 66-year-old were to be appointed as the second in command of the judiciary, he would only serve for 4 years until his mandatory retirement in 2029.
It's a period of 4 years, CJ, and there's nothing I can do about it. I was born earlier than my two brothers. And one of them actually is a year younger than me, not a lot. The other one is quite a youngster. I say this respectively.
Slightly older.
Yeah. So, but CJ, that's where I can put it. I mean, if it's a concern, it shouldn't be a concern. I think the CJ will be serving until 2034, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
Somewhere there. So, from a career development point of view, and this is me sort of advancing my case, it would serve the CJ quite well to have a candidate who will leave before her and bring in someone else as DCJ who can take over from her when she goes. I think it's a way of looking at it.
Second was Northern Cape Judge President Pule Tlaletsi. Tlaletsi has 22 years of judicial experience. He also served as the Judge President of the Labour Court. When Tlaletsi served as the Deputy Judge President of that court, he was responsible for the nationwide operations. He built systems for efficiency and eliminated crippling case backlogs through pioneering the recruitment of pro bono acting judges. He says should he be the Deputy Chief Justice, he would prioritize security at the courts, ensure that court judgments are simplified and translated into all official languages.
I believe in the notion that judgments of the courts must be simple and free from unnecessary legalese or jargon that make them difficult for ordinary litigants and the society as a whole to understand. Although it might come at some cost, it would contribute to access to justice for the judgments of the courts, particularly those setting precedent and or affecting the daily lives of the society, to be translated into all official languages.
However, Tlaletsi was grilled over his stance of sexual harassment policies within his division.
Do you accept that there is a sexual harassment problem in judiciary in the same way there is a problem of sexual harassment in society? You might have come here not aware, but with everybody's input now, Do you now accept that it looks like there is a problem the judiciary is dealing with? You were not aware of it. You are now aware of it. But it makes it problematic for me to want to go and help the CJ on matters that you don't know. Help her on what? Because you don't know there is a problem she's dealing with.
Yes. Been assured that there is that problem, and I do accept that there is that problem. What I was trying to put forward was that I personally have not come across a specific case that I had to deal with. But if the scourge is there, I do accept.
Proceedings will continue on Thursday, where Free State Judge President Kegni Musi will be interviewed. Natasha Piri, SABC News, Sandton.